Welcome in, beautiful souls. Before I begin this reading, this is going to be about a shadow, the shadow self. But before I begin the reading, I just want to thank everybody for subscribing and coming in and joining into this beautiful community. And, I just want to express to you that I haven't received a lot of love in this world. And through the comments that you guys have given to me, I was so overwhelmed with how beautiful those messages have been that you've been providing to me. And I just really want to thank you all. And, we're all in this together. And I just hope that these readings are going to really benefit you. Because it took me a really hard road to get here. And I want to share that with you. And I guess with that, I'm just going to begin the reading. So I just want to thank everybody for being here and for accepting me. And because I've never been accepted before. So it just feels really good. And you probably feel the same way, that you probably haven't felt accepted before either. So, it's been a really, beautiful community to grow. And so with that, I just, my gratitude to you. So beautiful souls, let's move on. Okay. So the shadow card came up on my truth deck. So this is a truth oracle deck. And the shadow card came out, and I'm just like, oh, I know right away. I had already posted another video today. Well, I do them in advance, and then I just pre-date them to release. So somebody in the comments had actually asked me if I could put the decks that I use in the description. So I will do that from this deck from this reading forward. And so I had a reading that released today, and I have another one coming out on the 8th. And then this is going to come out probably sometime on the weekend. Anyway, let's get into it. So I did receive a download, and that's the other thing too. If you're new here, I do receive pre-downloads. I get channel messages before I do any readings. And the channel message today that they gave it to me probably a week or two ago. This was kind of building up to doing these guided educational learning. I don't really know what to call it, because they just want to teach it. The angels are bringing this in. They want to teach us how. They want me to show you the pathway to your spirituality, what your awakenings are, to help you resonate with what's happening within you and around you and all of the stuff that goes with it. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the shadow. Now, the shadow actually starts developing when we're children. And so when in our early childhood, and we get dismissed very easily, and what happens is, like, when we have that imagination and we express things that are going on in our little worlds, maybe you've had an imaginary friend, or you've seen spirits, or your imagination was just so like you played with fairies or whatever it is. If you ever said that to an adult, they're just like, oh, that's just your imagination, dear. Or, you had you felt like you had something under your bed, or, a boogeyman in your closet, or whatever was going on in your childhood. That is so easily dismissed by parents. Maybe not so much now, because a lot of the parents now are becoming more aware of reincarnation, and people living past lives or being reborn into their deceased loved ones, that whatever, you know what I mean? So some of the kids that are being born on the earth now are probably going to have it a little bit easier than the ones from my generation. I'm an old gal here, so things were very easily dismissed as a child. And parents don't really mean to do that. They are also you got to give them grace too, because they've been indoctrined by the society that we live in. And that's the other thing too, is society really does pave the way, because for people, spiritual people, they've always been mocked and ridiculed and you know, called crazy. And, in the earlier years, like in the Victorian type years, people didn't have a choice. Like if a husband didn't like what his wife was doing, he could just take her to the insane asylum and just lock her up there for the rest of her life. But she could have been like a medium or a psychic, or like a beautiful healer or something like that. Or like even prior to that, like, people could have been like, I gotta be careful with what I say, because YouTube has guidelines. But back in like the burning of witches, and like in Salem and all that kind of stuff, like all those things that have gone on, like, so people were afraid to express themselves. And that gets pulled into this generational curses. And you know hold on a minute, I got something really weird going on. It's like I have all this pressure on my ears. Okay, you have to excuse a lot of the noises that go on around me too, because I live in a house full of a lot of people, and they don't really like what I do. So I do have a lot of energy that I'm constantly having to push away to deliver the messages. And yeah, okay. So the other thing too is with society dismissing us to the point that that's, in our early childhood, because society's developed the way it has. I mean, that's changing now, like I said, but for the ones that are here now that are adults and have been, judged and, all this, told all these things that, were not true. That's really like, and that's why, like, as adults, we have a hard time distinguishing, especially for all those em- empaths. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on. For all those empaths that are out there, this is how you're so easily manipulated and gaslit, because the gaslighting starts at in childhood. It's to teach you to diminish and to shrink yourself to fit into a society. It is to dim your light, and in the process of all that, it squashes your gift, right? So with that, I'm going to just start the reading, and I wanted to know what master or angel was going to help deliver this message today. And this card popped out. Baba Yaga. She's spiritual awakening, interconnectedness, understanding the inner workings. And I thought, well, how, you know? Okay, so an angel of strength popped out too. So we have the shadow card here. I don't think we need anything more than the shadow card out of this deck. Let's see here. The other side coexists, reverse side. You know, this tells me a lot that I'm sorry, hold on a moment. I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to try my spray here. I had someone outside my door kind of listening, I think, and shooting some negative stuff at me. So I just used my rose spray. Also, I had Mary Magdalene and Kuan Yin were kind of moving into this energy before I started, because they're a lot about the heart, and they are the ones that bring us a lot of grace. Okay, so this house, when this card house came out, it instantly gave me like, how we grow up, how we are, you know, from our childhood, how we're manipulated. This lady, you see her, she's, she's just off in her dream world, imagining God only knows what, you know, and how she has to keep herself contained and small to fit in this type of society, with the expectation that's being put upon her. Because, like back in these days, women didn't have a voice. Women had to just, whatever the man said, they had to abide by it. So, she's going to be representing our child, right? And then, with the inner child, that's where all of our shadows, our fears and our shadow work really has to take place. So here we have judication. This is a brand new deck. I have never seen any of these cards before. So when they started flying out, I was just like, okay. So I'm just going to read the energy on them. So with this judication here, you see how you have this judge, and you see how he's got, I don't know if you can see his face very clearly or not, but he has like almost like he's like scowling at these people. And, so these people are going to represent children for us, and it's almost like this is the adult figure in our lives, this children. And then it also, on the flip side, he's also represents our government. He represents all the agencies that we have to deal with when you have to register your car, and you have to pay your property taxes, and you have to pay tax on this and tax on that. The government people just do whatever they want. They make all these promises and they deliver nothing. So I think we can all relate. And then here, this distant horizons here, this gives me like, this is her, this is here, all this imagination she has, like being on a pirate ship that flies in the sky, and like, it gives me actually, Peter Pan type energy, and then, like, see this heavy anchor here, which is keeping, pulling all those beautiful energies back down to the earth, and chaining them so that, you're not able to express and be who you truly are as a child. And can you imagine what a magical world that we would live in if all of our inner children, because we have many inner children, and if all of them could be always expressing how they want to express themselves, could you imagine the beauty that this world would be? I mean, I can't even, I don't even have the imagination to figure that out. You know what I mean? Because I just think it would be such a beautiful, magical place. She's, like this distant horizons, I just keep feeling like, these children that, have to go through like the scorn of the adults around them. And, it creates all these fears. And, and that's the thing too, like the parents, they put all these fears upon us. But, again, we have to have grace for our parents, because, they are only doing what they know. They can only meet us at the level that they are. You know what I mean? Now, for instance, my parents grew up, and their parent, like my grandparents, grew up in like the wartime. So, well, my grandparents would have been like in the wars, what I'm trying to say. And so my parents grew up under, like, rationing, and, like not wasting things, building things to last. But they also grew up in a time where you couldn't express your emotions. You couldn't, like if you were afraid, that you just shoved all that down, and you stuffed it down deep into your soul, and you just shut up about it and dealt with it. You know what I mean? I grew up, I grew up, I'm going to tell you a story. I grew up, and every night at like 9:30, they would start this commercial, and it would play on the TV, parents, do you know where your children are? And that would run till, I don't know, 10:15 or so. And, it now, to hear that, for people now, like from the younger generation, to think like, oh my God, how could I ever allow my kid like out of my sight, or, you know what I mean? Like, that would never even happen. I mean, you'd probably have child services pounding on your door. Okay, so, I mean, I think it's funny because what I grew up with was street smarts, right? And, plus, because my parents didn't know how to express love, they didn't know how to express feelings, or have any kind of emotional maturity about them. They just lashed out, and, they had a lot of addiction type issues, and a lot of narcissism, and that kind of stuff. So like I said, they could only meet us at the level that they have reached in their existence, right? So better, you do better, right? So here we have the message of concern. Now this card here, this gives me like she's just like receiving this letter, and she's like, oh my gosh. But I think this has a lot to do, for me, I'm surmising here that this is the time to be letting this go. You know what I mean? To let go of these old energies from the childhood, because it starts in the early childhood, in the home, the suppression, the judgment that comes, the government society thing, like how all of our dreams have not taken flight yet. Like some of us, yes, but not all of us. And that's what we're all working on now. And it's actually, the dragons were really popping out a lot here today. They asked me to wear my dragon bracelet. My dragon here was laying out on my table when I was cleaning. Also, they had me bring up my dragon deck. But this boat, now that I'm really getting a close-up look at it, it looks like a dragon head. Oh, no, it's not a dragon head. It's a seahorse. The front of it here is a seahorse. A seahorse out of the water flying a ship. And all these sails gives me all these chakra colors. You have the seagulls. Seagulls are birds are messengers from spirit. So these birds are taking flight, and they're flying high, and they're the only birds that fly over the ocean. Well, not the only birds, because I think there's those what are those birds called? The ones that sharks eat sometimes. I can't remember the names of them. Here, I'm back on them freaking sharks again. Okay, so we have Baba Yaga. I think that's how you say her name. I can't say that first word. I'm not even going to try. Okay, so this is the inner workings of our shadow. So this is where, when it comes to a shadow, this is where all of our fears are. This is where all of our trauma lives, right? These are within us. They're held within our chakras. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So, and I'm just going to give you a little story time here, a quick one. But for me, because I didn't know how to express myself, to express how I was feeling. Like I always kept everything to myself. I just kept it all in. I'm an Aquarian, so that doesn't help either. But so what ended up happening is I ended up having discs in my spine blow out, and they're in the area of my sacral chakra, where all the emotion lives, baby. So I ended up having an emergency surgery, and it actually ended up crippling me. And I'm bedridden for about 6 months. And I ended up being on a waiting list 4 months in absolute dire agony, popping pills just to make it through the day. And literally every day when I would finally fall asleep after I drugged myself to escape from the pain, waiting for a second surgery, which, like I said, took 4 months, every day I just wished that I would not wake up. And then every time that I woke up after the pills wore off, and I had to face that pain again, I actually would moan and be just like, oh my God, why did you not let me die while I was sleeping? Like, why, right? And it was just one of those like terrible things. Anyway, I ended up being disabled from all the surgeries. And so it just goes to show you how holding in all those emotions and those traumas, and not dealing with the shadow and working through the pain and the suffering and, not doing that, how it can affect our physical vessel to the degree that it can literally leave you disabled. No joke. True story. Look at that on the bottom. Miraculous moment. Harmony surrounds you. Expect miracles. Okay, I think they want another card here. Whew. Okay. Let's see here. It's funny too. I was walking my dogs this morning in the letting them run around in the forest, and I was getting like this massive download, and it was really funny. This one, and it was really funny because usually there's not birds in that area where I go, and Michael and Faith, spiritual calling, divine protection, breakthrough moment. Wow. Okay, and I was I was receiving all these downloads, and I don't want to talk about it because, they don't want me to bring it up in this reading, so they're blocking it. Anyway, I was just like, holy cow, I can't believe all of this. This is like just so amazing. And this, as soon as the download finished, this little bird on a branch that was behind me, I didn't even know it was there. It just like squawked and flew off. And it was just the most amazing moment. And I was just like, wow, how long have you been there? And I swear that bird gave me that download. Because I was even talking out loud and babbling on, and I'm just like, what am I doing? I don't have any paper. I'm not going to remember any of this. And anyway, it was funny. Okay, so let's pull out some oracle cards here. I think they're going to want a lot. Oh my God, look, ancestors on the bottom. Yeah, see how they're all lined up here? See, these are the different lives that we've lived. Historical connections and purpose. That's a beautiful card. Okay, let's see here. Okay, all right, Spirit, what is it that you want? Achievement, completion, reward. That's exactly what happens when you make it through the shadow work and you get rid of all that trauma and you face it all and you look behind you. And that's the thing. That last reading I did, that's going to pop out on the 8th, I think, that talks about how, when we become stagnant and like how, it holds us there because we have to deal with the traumas. We have to deal with the emotions. We have to deal with all of that. But once it's done, that's when things start moving again and, things happen, right? Because I'll tell you, I feel like I've been in like this stuck stage for like many, many years. Oh my God, look in action again. Look in that bird flying up high, taking off. And you see how it's okay. All right. So they want me to talk about this. Let's just do that. Look, community. Oh my God, Spirit, this is beautiful. Because you guys are like my family now because I don't have one. Sorry. Okay. It's okay. Okay. So you see this white horse, and no matter how much you run, no matter how much you try to run from it, this shadow is always going to be there. It's attached to you. It is part of you. Okay? It's that duality. It's the light and the dark, like where all that pain holds, where all that pain lives. No matter how, like, see how this white horse is running as hard as it can, like its mane is flying, its tail is up, you can see how it's just running as fast and as hard as it can. But you see this black one here, the shadow, it is just trotting along. So no matter how fast, how hard you run, you can never get rid of it until you face it, until we all turn around and just face all the traumas, face it and deal with it. See where all this pain comes from, process it, and it's not an easy task to do because, the community that is here, we have been through so much that sometimes it takes some of us years to get through it, especially like if you have addictions, because like what happened to me with my spine, don't even know why I'm talking about this. Because I was on the pills for so long, I ended up getting addicted to it. And I didn't know I was addicted because once I got my second surgery, I felt so, I mean, I come out of, I tell you, when I snapped out of that anesthesia, whatever that stuff is called, and I was in a wheelchair and they were wheeling me out of the hospital. And I was just like, I was smiling ear to ear because I was just like, oh, I feel so much better. And though I was a little bit drugged up, I still felt so much better. The pain was gone and I could think straight again. And oh, it was a beautiful day. And but you know, I noticed like I was on medication, you know, like every 4 hours, whatever, and they had me on the same stuff because, you know, the surgery, but you know, I was only on it for another 6 or 7 days or whatever until like a lot of the healing took place. But it was probably on day 8. I was like, yeah, I don't think I need, I'm not really in much pain. I don't think I really need these pills anymore. So I stopped taking them. And then I got really sick. And for like 8 days, at least 8 days, I was so sick. I was sweating. I was running fevers. I couldn't eat. I was a mess. And after all of that, after that was all purged out, I realized, like, was I addicted to those pills and I just purged myself and didn't even know it? So glad I did, right? All right. So what else you want here, Spirit? One of these. Okay. Let's take one of these and see what we have here. Okay, you know, if you're new here, which a lot of you are, sometimes you'll see weird things going on. Sometimes the lights will get bright or dim, or my camera will like move around on its own. Like I just get weird things that happen. I just on the bottom, go on an adventure. Today is the day to try something daring. Yeah, you know, it takes a lot to face those shadows and see. She's on a horse. Pegasus, actually. Okay, let's see what card they want here. Okay, guess that one. Yeah, get lost. Yeah, we do get lost, don't we? What's this one? Wow, 44 master number. You know the way. Trust your intuition on this journey. No joke. You know, this stag too, stags are leaders. This represents leaders. You have all these, are they moths or butterflies? I don't know if they're moths or butterflies. I'm going to say they're butterflies because it's in the day. See all this white streaky light? I don't know what that is. She's in the forest though, and there's a castle back here. You know, they're bringing out a lot about the castles in these readings. The medieval times. You know, the medieval times too, like they were very brutal people back then. I mean, they chopped the heads off of like, you know, they would cut, you know, if you stole a loaf of bread or something, they would chop off your hand. And, you know, there was a lot of brutal, so a lot of this past life stuff. Oh, sorry, Spirit, yeah. They, I forgot to look over here. They want me to pull out one of these. These are postcards from Spirit. So they always have me just shuffle them, and then I cut the deck here. They had me bring out some different things for this reading too, because, oh my gosh, whoa, I gotta pick these up. Hold on, because one of these might be important for this reading. Sorry, squeaky chair again. Oh goodness, I just rolled over a bunch of them. Yeah. These energies don't like me talking about how society like keeps us down, and you know, like these medieval times. They don't like when I bring up this kind of stuff. But, you know, see, and this is the thing too, I explain a little bit about my channeling. So what happens is Spirit just kind of like puts, it's almost like, have you ever seen Harry Potter? And the owls are coming in with all the letters, and then the letters just open and they all start opening up. That's kind of how, like, what spirit does is they kind of drop, like a little bloop in my head, and then it's like it just goes and it unfolds, like, you know what I mean, and all the information is there at once. Okay, so let's try this again here. Okay, so we're gonna set this card aside here and read it at the end. This one. Oh God, there's so much interference going on today. There's like machines running and. Okay, hold on. I just need to put my energy here, focus. This one. Okay. These are cherubims, I think. You are magic on the bottom. Actually, you know what? This, hold on, I need to get my magnifying glass because these are so tiny. This cherubim is like reaching up to the sky, but this looks like somebody that's got their hand on their fist on their face, like they're all mad. Oh no, sorry. They're both cherubims. Boy, that looks like it's an optical illusion. Oh my God, optical illusion spirit. What these people have been doing, it's always been an optical illusion. I'm just going to set that card over here out of the way. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there, just so that people can't, for those naysayers out there. Okay, let me just move this here. All right. Then let me bring out a Phoenix card. There's a lot about these dragons, and they even had me wear my dragonfly bracelet that I made. The dragonflies really seem to resonate with a lot of people, and the dragons and the phoenix birds. Okay, let's see here. What do you want here, Spirit? Okay. I keep losing the card. Hold on. Sorry. It's like my energy's so scattered. I don't know what's going on. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Thanks, Spirit. They just made it easier. Thank you. It's on the bottom. Ooh, look at all these colors. Make dreams come true. Oh my God. And that's exactly what happened. Like, look. This is all about your dreams. Wow. That's the most beautiful card I ever seen, I think. Well, probably not the most beautiful, but it is beautiful. And and they keep, it's almost like they keep showing me like the birds that are like taking flight. So I think these educational readings that I'm doing, it is going to propel people forward, lift them and propel them forward. This is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see how the world's going to be after another year or so. Okay, you want this card, Spirit? Radiant power. Look at that. Wow. Okay, so let's just take a look, see what we got here. And oh my God, look. Just do it. Just do it. Do it. Oh my God. Just do it. That's the flower of life symbol behind him. I don't know why I'm calling him a him. This is beautiful. Okay. Just do it. Make the dream. Oh, you want it this way? Make the dreams come true. Just do it. Okay, let's see. Who else is here? Oh my God. Wasn't he the one that was already... that? I think he was the one on the bottom of the deck. Guru, Ramdas, Miracles. Miraculous moment. Harmony surrounds you. Expect miracles. Your dreams. That's why they want me to switch these cards. Oh, they always have a plan for everything. I swear to God. Ooh, animal totem. Look, another stag. No joke. Where's that stag? Oh, there she is. Wow. Oh, and the leopard. And the fox. An owl. I think that's a hawk. Okay, Storm, hold on. My cat wants to go out. Yeah, I'm coming. Hold on. There you go, buddy. Oh, I think he needs to go, like, outside. Hold on. Sorry for the interruptions. I really can't get through a reading without interruptions. So goes life, right? Okay, so the animal totem here. Oh my God, this is beautiful. This is all this connection to nature, and it comes right out under... oh, I see what you're saying, Spirit. Okay, they're just like, look at the card above. So this here, they're saying that, okay, so when you're in nature, you heal. Gaia is... she's using the trees and the animals and the plants, the water, the sun, all of it is healing. It's bringing healing. So it'll help you let go of a lot of it, because 14 breaks down to a 5, which is all about change. And then you have 27 breaks down to a 9, which is like just before, like that big like your dreams coming true kind of thing, right? Angel of strength, yes. Oh yeah, and I just noticed that they have another lion here, and the lions are all about the sun. You know, the angel of strength, and they're bringing up the lion and the sun here. This gives me Metatron. You know, Metatron, he has like that cube, and it's oh, I can't remember the details about the cube now. It's, I learned I process so much information in the run of a day. Like even when I'm sleeping, I'm doing, and that's going to bring us to the dream videos eventually. But even when I'm sleeping, I'm still like doing stuff. What is this? Share space. Yeah. Okay. So, when you focus on your dreams and whatever your true desires are, the angels and your ancestors and the ascended masters, like galactic beings, everything will support you in it. As long as it, what you truly desire and what you truly love. And that is the hard thing to figure out. Well, for some. But getting through a lot of these emotional traumas. These stags are really jumping out at me about how the importance of being a leader, leading your own life, putting in your boundaries. Look at these portals. Number 9. Yeah, could be seeing 9-9. 9-9's the end of a cycle. I got another 9 here. See, what's this? Share space. Isn't that funny? See, like when I have a deck and there's a card on the bottom, and I don't know why I keep doing it. Like I should just take the card, because usually if there's a deck and it's sitting here and it's on the bottom, they will pull it back out. They make me laugh. Share space. This is this is finding your community. We're all starting to come together now. You're here because you have the same frequency that I have. You have the same vibrational Oh my God, the cosmic heart source. Look at that. And I was just talking about that flower of life that's going on in this card. That's what this is, the flower of life. This is where we're all connected together. Wow. The cosmic heart source. You know, the universe is really just love. And when you connect into your heart space, and that's why you got to purge all the shadow, because when you hold pain in your heart, you're not able to love to your full capacity to bring you into making your dreams come true and having these expect the miracles. Like you get this breakthrough, right? You get the breakthrough when you go through your spiritual calling, because this is Archangel Michael and Faith. You know, they're our protectors. They're, you know, and he carries that sword of the blue flame, right? And this is where you can like cut cords with people and find your soul tribe. You know, that's another thing too that I wanted to say too. Like, I've been spending a lot of time, probably more than I should, connecting with each and every message that comes into my channel, because I want to be able to connect, you know, chords with everybody so that, you know, you can feel my energy and I can feel yours. And I tell you, yesterday I spent really like 12 hours just doing that. And I was freezing cold all day because I kept getting all these chills, because like my soul is on a soul level is recognizing yours. And I don't know how many that, you know, you guys have said like, oh, you know, you touched my soul, or, you know, I can feel this energy, or I resonated, and, you know, just all those things. It was just really amazing. So, oh my God, look, and shaman's on the bottom. This is the mastery. Once you get through the shadow, and you purge everything that you need to purge, you become a master. You'll master your own emotions, you'll master your mind, and you'll be able to master the elements to make your dreams come true. And that's really where the magic is. Spirit. Beautiful. Yeah, I should have taken that card. I didn't. Oh, always testing. Okay. Let's take a couple cards here, and then I'm going to wrap up this reading. Okay, let's see. You know, when I said that I didn't have any family, I they I come from actually a very large family. I have like 12 brothers and sisters. Only 2 have deceased, but I just don't have family. And I'm sure a lot of you out there would resonate with that, because if you're here, you're probably going through some of the same things, or have. It's on the bottom. Judgment again. You know, and see, these are like, see how like little they are? And he's standing over them, just like here in this card here, this judgment card here. Crazy. Okay, let's see what's here. The 6 of Pentacles. Yes, this is going to be rewards. You're going to, once you go through all this purging, and you start finding out what your desires are, what you truly love, and all that. The 6 of Pentacles, this is all about, you know, like having like a positive awakenings, and you know, like learning to give but yet receive, you know. And that's something that that was my final test, was being able to receive. So that's why with every message I was like, if somebody said thank you, I said thank you, you're welcome, because I always had a hard time. Like I was always giving, and I always had takers around me. And then once I put up my boundaries and I stopped giving to everybody and I started pouring into my own cup, and you know, now I have like a full jug of self-worth and love for myself. I can now pour that out into the world. And if you've seen the other readings, you'll understand, because they're all kind of related. Sire of Wands. This is the king. This is the king of wands here in this deck. Wow. The king of wands. I'm not even joking. It's so funny because the king of wands, you know what this card represents? Oh my God, Spirit. The king of wands is all about being a leader, about an entrepreneurial, sorry, having a visionary, having these great ideas, being successful, filling your dreams, making your dreams come true. It comes right out on make your dreams come true. Funny, Spirit. Look at that, the high priestess again. Wow. We have actually quite a few priestesses too that are in our community here, which is fabulous. Fabulous. Now this deck here, this tarot deck is a galactic deck, and on the bottom is the Knight of Cups. This is the love. Wow, Spirit. Whew. My ear is ringing like crazy here. Oh, someone come out. Let's see here. Let's see what else we have here. The bottom is the moon. Again, you know, this has a lot to do with the illusions. You know what's really cool? This wolf here that's howling at the moon, it has antlers. These are all these illusions that we've been living in all these years. Getting rid of the society. Look, the Six of... Oh, yes, look at this. This is the Six of Swords. You know, this is... you know, this is this galactic being that's helping to move you. Moving on. You know, thing is, too, you still have all these wounds, right? There's still, you know, shadow fears and aspects of ourselves that, you know, this is where you got to heal that inner child. It's where that inner child works. Look at this, the strength. So you have the angel of strength here, and then you have a galactic being with the dragon with strength here. You know, this is a galactic deck too, and they brought out a dragon. You see how this green here lighting up this heart? She's whispering to him or to her. You know, a lot of us here have dragons, if not all of us. I've been working with dragons for quite a while now, and I've done a lot of like grid work with Gaia. Some of you might resonate with that too. King of Discs. This is Pentacles in this card. So you have the King of Wands here and the King of Pentacles here. Wow, that's amazing. Because the King of Pentacles is about material abundance, being a leader, a warm leader. You know, having all these like goals and success and personal growth, which will bring like security, and you'll be able to provide for others. Just like with this, the Six of Pentacles here, which will help. You know, this is where like once you make it into where you are, you can then give to others, right? You can share that love. You can share your whatever your dreams are, whatever you have, because we all have these beautiful gifts that we just have been, you know, hidden from us, the illusions. So you're going to read this. I'm going to close the reading. Dearest you, Okay, pump up the music, bang the drums, get up, get on up, and start that hustle toward your goals and dreams. I can't even make it up. Oh my God, Spirit. They make me laugh. Oh my God. Oh my God. Sorry. I can go through so many emotions doing these readings. I mean, like when I mentioned that you guys are like my family now because I don't have one, and you guys give me love that I haven't felt for a really, 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 really long time. And, like I was like trying not to cry, but now here I'm laughing hysterically, right? The emotions, the whirlwind emotions. And, there's so much going on in the world right now that, it's really easy to get swept up into like the negative and getting, hijacked with our phones and having our distractions, that will take over the moments where we really should be spending time, like pouring into ourselves and putting up boundaries with, toxic people. Okay, so hustle toward your goals and dreams. There are times to be still, but this is not one of them. Now is the time to make the first move. Say yes to life. Pick up the phone that makes pick up the phone, make that decision, and take that one step toward the gods or us. Expect a cascade of changes, good news, and opportunities to show up, as if by magical well? Oh no, sorry. By magic, yeah. As if by magic. Well, we know it's really spirit and all of us moving towards, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. I'm thinking all these thoughts and they're talking to me and I'm sorry. You guys need to back off so I can read this, please. It's almost like, if you've ever been around kids and you're trying to read a book and they're all talking to you and they're all having this, it's impossible. It's like, it gives you like this ADHD thing, right? Okay, so let me try this again. Expect a cascade of changes, good news, and opportunities to show up as if by magic. Well, we know it's really spirit and all of us moving things around for your benefit. The point is that we are saying, go for it. Take positive action toward your dreams, even if the outcome isn't an exact fit for your agenda. It will be orchestrated by spirit and arrive in divine, appropriate timing. Don't you just love how it all works? We love you so, so much. Isn't that amazing? All this talk about the dreams, and it started out with this card here, the dreams, and number 9, and then you have the make the dreams, and then this is the dreams, and this is the telling you, work through that shadow, get rid of, like, deal with all those inner children issues and stuff like that. Wow. They want me to tell you something about my inner child, but I don't want to do that today. So I'm just going to close the reading. So I'm going to bid you all a good day. I hope this video finds you well. And yeah, so that's it. Sending you all my love and light. Bye, everyone.